Nobody asked me to do this, but I saw this was out there, had to watch it. I was in the studio from bedroom studios, affiliated to major label studios, and studios where top 40 songs have been recorded in. So I'm just really curious about their process. I literally just reacted to the first take of this like a few minutes ago. I'm excited.
Always looking fresh, got that green in my diet.
Yeah, that's good right there. When you're recording a track, chances are the lyrics haven't been internalized and immortalized and burned into your brain yet. You haven't performed it 1,000 times yet. So you might need to look at your lyrics, whether it's on a piece of paper or your phone. The thing with that is when you're looking at your phone or your piece of paper, it's very easy for your vocalist to look to the side. So now their voice is not going into the mic, but it's pointing off angle. Might not sound like a big deal, but it completely changes the sound of the vocals. There's a time and place for the vocalist to go directly into the mic. There's a time and place where you'd want them to be more off axis, depending on the song. But when they go back and forth, they might look right into the mic for the section that they know, and they might look to the side when they have to check their phone. Then the sound is just going back and forth on the same track. You don't want that. But what she did,
Always looking fresh, got that green.
just her eyes. Before I went to the major label, I feel like only 1 out of 5 vocalists were just moving their eyes rather than their whole face. And that's something that we might have had to spend like 30, 60 minutes coaching up. I wouldn't charge them for that hour, but it's just an hour that wasn't spent laying down the track. That's their bodega cat.
Making moves, stay poppin'. I know they watching me.
I love her voice so much. All their voices are my favorite voice, but her voice is my favorite voice.
やっぱりあそこに入るとなんかすごい自信が湧いてきて、私これはもうやってやろうっていう気持ちになって、すごい楽しくやらせていただきました。でもちょっと難しいところもあって、苦戦した部分もあったんですけど、すごい楽しかったです。
It's a good attitude.
Every day is like a treat. Freedom, cool kiss, nothing to it. Going stupid, sauce.
That was a good take to me. I like that.
I'll be the one, don't need a son, cause we cool and suit and do it just for fun. You couldn't run up on me, I'm too out of this world. I got the spaceship jumping ready for my...
She's more off axis with the microphone, but she's staying off axis. So this isn't gonna be a take that they have to re-record, like you pick one, you're gonna go straight to the mic, or you're gonna be off at an angle. It's also interesting that they got 2 pop filters. This is probably more for the wind plosives. This one is probably for, I don't know, maybe they had already bought it, so they just gotta use it. Anyone knows why they got these 2? Can you let me know?
그 힘이 너무 약해서 이번에. 아 진짜요?
계속 주말에 계속 다시 들어볼 거야. 그래서 아쉬운 거 있으면 월요일날 다시 할 거니까. 좋아.
Oh man, as soon as she heard that, she probably took that as the polite way to say that's probably not going to be the money take, but we can try again later. And this gentleman is trying to reassure her that it was good. It was good.
여기 있는 사람들이 좋다 그러면 진짜 좋은 거야. 아 열심히 하고 있어. 충분히.
아쉬워요.
완전 샤한 느낌의 애티튜드로 그냥 톤 같은 걸로 그런 느낌.
They're using Pro Tools. That's the platform that they're using to record everything into. When I first started making music, Pro Tools and I think Logic, those were the industry standards. But for whatever reason, I enjoyed using the alternative choices as long as I felt like it was of the same quality. And what I used was called Ableton. And back then, nobody was really using Ableton. Ableton was almost more of a toy platform or something used for DJing or live performances. I saw one of my favorite DJ producers, DJ Jazzy Jeff, he was exclusively using Ableton. And that just made me want to do that too. When I got to the more professional music studios, they didn't have Ableton. They had Pro Tools and Logic. And if it was a hip-hop studio, they'd have Reason as well. The higher I climbed in the ladder of the music industry, I realized it was really important to have Pro Tools and Logic on your desktop. So when the artist comes in, they feel reassured that this is going to be a professional session. They don't want you using some underdog software for their track or their session that they're paying money for. So what I would do is I would have the software icons of Pro Tools and Logic on my desktop. I'd open it so they'd see this. And when they go into the vocal booth, I would minimize it and pull up Ableton, and I'd record it on Ableton. And when they came back out, I could just click on Pro Tools and have it pop back up if needed.
내일 캡업은 못해 엄청.
前の方がもっと
원래 키보드
그러니까.
자는 수정이.
っていう感じ
今日は
今日はもう少しだけバーンまでは行ってない感じ。
行ってない感じ。ああ。これがなんかもう少し余裕があるっていうような感じなんで。合ってる。
はい、合ってます。
Okay, that's good information too. If an artist has a better or worse take on a particular day, it's really important for the producer to be on the same page with the artist. What was going on that particular day? You have a stressful morning? Did you get enough rest? Did you have road rage on the way over here? Was it just nerves? Because if it's nerves, that's easy. The producer is a pseudo-therapist, psychologist as well. You have to understand the human mind, the creative's mind, just as much as you understand the science of sound waves.
Too out of this world. World. World.
Fun, you couldn't run up on me, I'm too out of this world.
Even down to the single word, they're brainstorming on how to approach the word world. If the amount of input the producer could have was that granular in a couple of the studios I worked at, I feel like the rappers would just be rolling their eyes. Like, just let me do my job and you do your job. I love how collaborative it is in here. There's acoustic treatment. Literally every inch of this control room. It must be completely dead in there, like a sensory deprivation tank.
오케이. 알겠습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
I know they're watching me, I'm on a wannabe. Nobody touching me, I got this energy. Woo, let it go.
One thing that I like to do is when I did have a pop filter, which was about 100% of the time, it's kind of an anchor point for how close the vocalist would get to the mic. Sometimes that's a hard thing to keep track of if you're rapping or singing. Well, singers, I feel like they're very aware of how close and angled they are to the mic, but rappers, I feel like they'd be head nodding, dancing around, feeling the music. They might be 3 inches from the mic one moment and like 8 inches the next. But if I have a pop filter, say I set it 6 inches away from the mic, I usually don't even have to say anything. They just sort of anchor themselves within an inch or two of that pop filter. And if they venture off for a take, then I could give them a reminder.
We're moving, never losing. Make you move, stay poppin'. Never mind.
발음만もうちょっと悪い人
네.
悪い人の
Really?
感じないっていうと思う
Oh, that's what they mean.
Not bad, meaning bad, but bad, meaning good.
We are movement, never losing. Make you move, stay poppin'. Never mind.
Okay, I like that. That was a whole different vibe. I just saw in the captions, the built-in captions, that was Simon talking. I'm kind of back far from the screen, so I couldn't really see the text. Which one is Simon? Him? The Asian one?
좋아.
네.
소울이 있어 보여.
Okay, that's Simon.
네, 감사합니다.
수고했어요.
네, 감사합니다. 수고하셨습니다.
Damn, her Korean is better than mine. That's a phrase that I've been trying to learn how to say for years.
かわいそうなんかもうまだ帰りたくないな
Just want to look at that table. They're getting busy. The energy is so good in here. It's so positive. Everybody's invested. CHISA said she even wished that she could do more. There's studios out there where when you walk in, the coffee table is going to be glass. It's going to be a mountain of white powder. People are spazzing out their energon storages so they can come with that high energy consistently all day and night. And sometimes you might have a rapper come in. He'll bring his entourage. He'll bring some girls. He'll bring a girl for the engineer. He'll bring a girl for you. And then he'll bring a girl in the vocal booth with him. And make that girl in the vocal booth do some things. Make the process more enjoyable for the rapper. Or to, I guess, help him stay in the consistent vibe of the song. That doesn't always happen, but it happens. And I'm pretty square when it comes to that stuff. I'm pretty old-fashioned. Closest thing to a drug I would have done is coffee. And I think I usually always had a girlfriend at that time, so I wasn't trying to expose myself to any temptations. But this studio session, really clean, really wholesome, really collaborative, and the energy is there.
緊張してきた
Going up, heading to the stars, wouldn't trade it up for another life. No.
Little pitchy.
You're rocking with a dream team.
See, that run that she did there is very natural. She's hitting the notes and the notes in between the notes. Not everything was perfectly on pitch. It doesn't really have to be, who cares? For the final product, they'll nudge the pitch in its right place.
Tired of this world, I'm in space, now I'm going up. Heading to the stars, wouldn't trade it up for another life, no.
This girl has a really good voice, really good tone, really good timbre. Sometimes the pitch isn't spot on, but that doesn't mean she's bad. This is actually quite normal. I remember when Trey Songz started singing. At first he was trying to be a rapper. People thought he might be more marketable and successful as a singer. And when he started singing, he wasn't great at singing, he just started. Even when he'd stay within an octave, his pitch wasn't great, but he was doing great. He was making record sales, he was making money at shows, he had great songs. And with each song he recorded, he got better and better at singing. He probably consistently went to a vocal coach, and the singer he was on his first album to one of his later albums, very different. Not related to singing, but I'm thinking about Ben Affleck with his acting. His acting in his early career put me to sleep, but all the stuff he did in his later career I was really into. So just because you hear something off pitch here and there, number one, she probably still sings better than me and you. But also you gotta look at the things that you can't really coach and improve as easily. The quality of her voice, which is amazing.
一行がちょっとだけなんか明る
あ
いように自分が聞こえて
あ
笑顔な感じがすごい느낌이
좀 더 성숙하게 하고
좀
싶어?
더
그런 게 더 좋지 않을까
하이,
고민이 됐어? 모니터 해볼게.
はいありがとうございます
Oh, that's so good. If the vocalist had a suggestion, can I do this whole different approach? There's no harm in giving it a try, and you can side by side it and then decide together. But you don't want to walk out of a studio session feeling like you weren't able to explore.
すごい猫キツネ
네.
그런表現できてる伝わってる
네.
그런 애티튜드
네.
ひなたらしくてもいいからなんかキツネと猫みたいな感じ
That's good. I never thought of that. Be yourself, but add a little bit of this vibe, like using an animal. That's really good.
プロンゴ
See how Simon was standing up earlier and now he's sitting down, hunched over. This is probably like the 10th hour of the session for him.
잘했어 잘했어
감사합니다.
I love her style.
오케이 좋습니다
I want her hat on my head. I love this inside look behind the scenes stuff with recording sessions, because I've only ever been in the recording sessions that I've been in. That direction that he gave when he said be yourself, but add a little bit more cat or fox was really good. I never thought of that. But that is similar to the direction people would give me when I'm modeling. They might ask me to add a little bit more of the vibe of a certain animal. I don't know why I didn't think of bringing that over to the music world. But this is Simon, I like that. I could tell by the end, he was getting a little bit tired, but he still treated everybody with care and kindness. He was willing to humor any idea. I wonder what he does to unwind. And how they use the paper? I think there's a period of time when I was active where people prefer to use their phone. If you had to shuffle the papers around, it would make noise. The microphone would pick it up. But a phone, you just put it on airplane mode. It'd make no noise. But yeah, I could see that probably don't need to turn the pages or anything. Everything's splayed out like that. Anyway, this is really intriguing for me. I hope you found it interesting as well. There's songs that they could just perform and that we can just enjoy. It's made, it's done, it's released out into the world, it's immortalized. Just for one song to get to that point, it takes so much work, so much energy. It asks a lot from everybody involved. And for a lot of the people involved in the team, there's no guarantee of a return. If the song doesn't do well, it doesn't sell well, you did all that work and you still can't pay rent. This part is fun, but it can also be a grind. Everybody had such a positive attitude, whether they were feeling a little bit of nerves or not. Everybody was really supportive of each other.